This episode of the Party Loaded podcast is proudly sponsored by Audible.com. Check out their awesome catalogue of audiobooks with over 180,000 titles to choose from. And be sure to grab a free audiobook on us and support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/endgame.
Let's party.
Hey, what's up everyone? It is Party Loaded episode 54 on the evening of Wednesday the 30th of November, heading straight into the end of the year. The new season is nearly upon us. In fact, tomorrow. Holy crap, we got there quick. My name's Luke Retallick. I am joined by a couple of the party tonight. Playing the tag team game, Mimo has tagged in and Jam has tagged out. So Mimo is back. Hello, how you going?
Hello, does that make me temp Jam?
No. It does not, unless you want to be Jam.
I will try, but I'm not that smart.
You have a chair with your name on it. You can just be you. That's probably the better approach.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work for you, you can also be Olly. How are you doing?
Hello,
Nah,
I'm me.
I'll pass.
I'm always me. There's no temp Olly.
No, there's not. No. It's mostly
I
because
am
you're always
consistent.
here.
I am the literal salt of the earth.
Yes. Leaving that one right there.
No, yeah.
You're a pillar of something. All right. No, it's good. So, speaking of getting down to earth.
Pillaring.
Yeah, pillaring. I actually don't know where I was going to go with that. How's them video games things been treating you?
Damn, video games is great. This is brilliant.
Oh shit, this is the best.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This is because tomorrow is the start of the silly season, so we're just getting a head start, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's how you do a
several
segue.
month head start. Well, speaking of the silly season, I mean, the silly season kicked off a little early with the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. So, did you guys pick up anything interesting, sort of game related off the internets or Steam or anything like that? Ollie, you go, Ollie.
I did not. I'm going to defer to Lord Moneybags over there.
Yeah.
My Scrooge McDuck tower may have been emptied slightly.
Yeah. I was going to say there is a definition for disposable income, and thy name is Ollie.
Yay, no kids.
Woo! Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I spent way too fucking much money. Much less than last year, thankfully. I spent less than last year. I didn't hit 4 digits like I did last year.
To be fair, though, last year you didn't have all of the spending at PAX, so...
That's true.
I don't think we can say disposable income is just not having kids, because I also don't have kids, and I don't spend...
Let me rephrase that. Full-time, well-paying job and no kids. How's that?
Yeah. So, FWAP.
Did he just trash talk my job?
No, I up-talked mine.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right, I see where this is going. That's okay.
You fucking
Just
peasant.
Setting the tone.
Let me be up here in my ivory tower.
All right.
So
You go.
What is your ivory tower populated with this week, Ollie?
Well, I've got 2 helmets coming in. I've got a Halo Master Chief helmet and a Fallout Power Armor helmet coming in.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, why not, right? I've got a shitload of books from Book Depository and shitloads of miniatures from various places around the internet. Like multiple parcels worth from multiple places. Oh, I bought some really cool RPG accessories. I actually bought something for the show as well, but you'll find out later what that is.
Okay.
Is it a foghorn?
It can be. And then I bought a few games on Steam that I've been meaning to pick up when they were on Steam sales and stuff. So I also picked up some of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What games? Anything that you can share? Anything cool?
Yes, I can. Thumper was the main one I picked up because that was cool. I picked up a couple of franchise deals from GOG and Green Man Games, and like a couple of bits and pieces there games that I had like on disc and I don't want to have on disc anymore, so I bought the digital version of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which people go, oh, doesn't Steam just automatically update it? No, some of these are quite old, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's good to have it in your Steam library too. It's just much more convenient when it comes to...
it's infinitely more convenient. And then a couple of like indie games and whatnot that I've been meaning to get around to that I haven't, but I'll talk about them later.
Sweet.
Maybe
Well,
possibly.
I picked up a few things. I did end up getting Deus Ex. Not Deus Ex. Dishonored. I got Dishonored. So
Hey,
yeah, I
they're
saw
similar-ish.
Yeah. So we'll start with D, and you. No, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it was only like $4, I think. So I figured
seems like an
was
acceptable
okay.
price.
Yeah, it was like 70% off. So I thought, well, that probably is going to fix that problem that I had of not having played the first one before I want to play the second one. Now I just need time. So yeah, that fixes part of the issue. I also grabbed a bunch of the Hitman episodes that I had not purchased yet for the new Hitman game, which is super good, and I want to get back to that at some point. So that was cool. And there was at least one other game that I purchased, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I'll probably remember
It's a
next Steam
doozy.
sale.
Yeah, when you go, I really want this game. I own it already.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually,
I've done that multiple times.
I did go to do
I've done
that with
multiple times.
one of the games that I am going to talk about today, but it was the Steam sale actually reminded me that I had not played this since I picked it up last Steam sales. That's kind of one of the catalysts for actually getting in and doing it. So
Yeah, and that was why I didn't pick anything up in the Steam sales, because there's still Steam games in my library that I only realised in the last 2 weeks that I have and never even downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be picking up Spy Chameleon RGB Agent for
Why
$2.50 when I haven't played Corgi Warlock yet.
Oh, neither actually.
Yeah, I've got Corgi Warlock to play. I've got Never Alone to play. Yeah, so lots of things to play. So yeah, and there was nothing in the Cyber Monday sales or the Steam sale that really sort of caught my eye. I've got so much to play.
yeah.
So
Well, the stuff that I really wanted to get was stuff that was a little bit out of my price range this week. Like I want to get some audio gear more than anything, just to sort of improve the setup here. But that can wait till actual Christmas. There's people who can get me that stuff. So yeah, there we go.
I'm not getting you that for Christmas.
for Santa to bring it to you, isn't that right?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Bald
Yeah.
Santa's not bringing
Santa.
you that, Luke. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, you mentioned Thumper, Ollie. I'm real keen to hear about this game because this is one that I'm pretty keen on picking up at some point too. So tell us all about it. What's going on with the Thumpers?
It's a cool game.
Cool.
Sweet.
So at what point as you're racing
and
around
review.
do you actually befriend Bambi? Does that happen in game or is that like a whole...
No, there's no Bambi reference though. No Bambi reference. The best way I can describe it, and I've stolen this one. I did a little bit of prep. You see, I stole a phrase from somewhere else. Is a psychological. Jesus Christ, a
Good job.
psychedelic rhythmic violence game.
Okay, so where does the violence come in? That's the one thing I didn't quite get when you mentioned
Yeah.
it before. Yeah.
So the psychedelic is the visuals, because holy shit, it's like dropping acid. Like if I played this game on VR, I would probably have an overdose and have a seizure of some sort. The violence comes from the fact that you're either exploding if you stuff up, or you're destroying stuff if you're doing things right.
Okay.
Because you're thumping and crushing things, or breaking through things, or sliding and grinding off things, or you're dying.
Right.
Is generally how that goes. And it's rhythmical because it has a bitching soundtrack, and all the things actually, if you get them right, match the music perfectly, which I thought was amazing. Even their spawning, they have a little tune or tone or sound effect that fits perfectly with the music, and I was very impressed by that. So for those of you that have played Audio Surf before, it's kind of ish idea. Like similar-ish, or like imagine a Guitar Hero, but instead of having an instrument, you're a little thing that's zooming along, and you have to hit things in certain sequences or combine things to do certain moves, that sort of thing.
Right. So do you actually have a projectile weapon of some sort, or is your actual vehicle the weapon in its entirety?
I will say I don't know if you get a projectile weapon, because this game I've only been playing on and off for maybe like 15 to 30 minutes at a time. Like it's not a game I could sink down and put hours and hours into.
Right.
Mostly because I'd probably go insane. I don't know if you get I haven't. I've done the first 3 levels now, and I've yet to get a projectile weapon, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know how many levels there are. There could be 15. There could be 5.
Right.
I do not know. So this will be a work in progress report.
Okay. Interesting. Do the levels sort of end up with like some sort of final challenge to beat before you complete the levels, like a pseudo boss fight or something? Or
There's not even a pseudo boss fight. There is an actual boss fight.
that's interesting for a game of this nature.
There's a pseudo boss fight halfway through each level. So you get a mini boss halfway, and then an actual boss at the end. And each level introduces so far I should say, because I'm still early on, has introduced a new mechanic. So, for example, the first level might introduce the sliding off some of the barrier walls on the side, or holding something down to break through certain barriers. Or the second level, I think, introduces the ability to jump up and thump down on things. That actually might be the third level. Stuff like that. So they introduce more and more, what's what I'm looking for, techniques and mechanisms, game mechanics, as the game progresses. Like a good game should, basically. It doesn't overload you.
Yeah.
And it gets really fast sometimes. Like, I'm not even consciously aware of what I'm doing fast. It's cool. I like it.
Do you remember the old days when we actually would buy a game and have to learn all this stuff from reading a manual before we even put the disc in?
You pansy, you read the manual?
No, I didn't
You'd sit there with like the manual next to you and like your controller, and you'd be like, okay, that's jump. All right, cool.
Well, actually, to be fair, when games were that old that they actually came with full-blown manuals, usually I would have a look at them if it was a story game, because I would want to know if there was any backstory before playing them. But as far as as far as like controls and stuff goes, I would usually not consult them unless I actually got stuck. So
I would always change them anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So,
but no, I agree. I always read the game manual for like cool backstory stuff and pretty art pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
Now I just have the internet and all of human knowledge and artwork ever created.
Yeah, now when you buy physical discs, you just get ads for other games.
Yeah.
It's true.
That is
In the
true.
internet,
Thumper. Would recommend. Good game. I will be attempting to... I can't even say I can attempt to finish it because I have no idea how long the fucking game is. But I will definitely be putting more time into it. It actually dragged me away from Dishonored 2. So...
Must be good,
Tells
if
you
that was the
something.
case.
Tells you something, yeah. Also, Dishonored 2, I think I would want to sit down and put a lengthy session in, and I haven't had the time this week to put down a lengthy session time.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, there's a game that I've been trying to put in lengthy session times into this last week, which I haven't really been able to, but as it turns out, it actually works okay not having big chunks of time to sink into, and that is my continued progress on the Pokemon Moon. So since last week, I think I've probably cleared another one of the 4 islands, so making decent progress. I don't feel like I have to rush through this one, though. It's not... the big incentive to get to the end of the game, and I say end of the game in inverted commas, because realistically, with all Pokemon games, when you beat the Pokemon League and sort of unlock your national Pokedex, which is like the one that allows you to get all of the entries from all the past games as well, that's really when the game kind of begins, because that's when you can do proper competitive battling and all the sort of post-game mission stuff, which is usually really fun.
And catch them all.
Yeah, exactly. You literally can't catch them all until you finish the game. So that kind of is where the game begins in a lot of ways. But because the Pokemon Bank feature that's going to allow you to import all of your monsters from previous games isn't going to be live until the middle of January, I'm not feeling super rushed getting it done before then, because I think I'm probably going to be waiting around for that to happen anyway so I can do other stuff. So... but the in-game
Aren't you
trade's
supposed to
been
be
good.
playing this with your son at some point as well, so shouldn't you wait for him?
I was never going to do that. Let's
No. As soon as Luke's like, I'm playing it a bit early because reasons, I'm like, that excuse. No.
I told him the other day that I'd started playing it, and he was upset for like a second, and then he realised that the advantages of that was that I would know all the stuff to tell him when he actually came to playing it himself.
But
So
if he
Such an
buys
optimist.
Sun,
Yeah.
if he has Sun and you have Moon, forgive my ignorance, but are they that similar? And it's just different Pokemon?
They're pretty similar. Usually the way it works with the dual game releases is that there's a small subset of Pokemon that only belong in one game or the other that you can only get in both if you trade. So that's kind of the difference. The story is identical. The only other weird one...
So you can tell him, like, give him hints when he gets stuck and things.
Yeah, all that's the same. I mean, he'll start off with a different starter Pokemon to me, so he'll have slightly different sort of team composition and that kind of thing. But
Did you see the Penny Arcade comic about the starter Pokemons?
I think so.
It was so good. And dear listener, if you have not, Penny Arcade did a strip about Gabe having to choose his starter Pokemon so that his son chose the one that he wanted, so he had to choose a different one.
That's exactly what happened to me.
This is the sacrifice that his granddad used to tell him about sacrifices that he had to make for the war, and now he understands.
Oh no. No.
And Luke's done the opposite of that.
Well, no, that was exactly the same for
right.
me.
He's just gone, screw you, son.
Well, look,
I'm going to finish the game first.
Out of the two, I wanted Pokemon Sun, and Ben's like, no, I'm your son. I should get that one. I'm like, oh, fuck. I got allergic by a 7-year-old. Fair enough.
Wow,
So he's getting that,
you
and
did.
I got Moon. But the other one was that he wanted the fire starter, which is the little cat Litten. So it's a lit up kitten, obviously.
That's super cute.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It turns into like a massive MMA style cat humanoid wrestler. It looks wicked.
Tell him Mimo
Yeah.
approves of his starter Pokemon choices.
Yep, it was good. That was the one I wanted, and he said he wanted that. So I was like, okay. Well, I'll do the nice thing then. I'll get the grass starter so you can burn the shit out of me. So I got Owlet, which is the little grass owl one, which turns into basically like a giant owl Robin Hood later on, because you can use like a Z power that fires arrows everywhere, which is kind of cool. There's been a lot
He steals from the rich and gives to the poor Pokemon.
Exactly. There's been a lot of internet hate for the water one, which I don't quite understand, because it's kind of cool. It's like a cross between
Isn't
a sea
a
lion
seal?
and a mermaid when it sort of does its full evolution. Yeah, it looks kind of cool later. It's part water, part
It looks
fairy.
cool later.
So, yeah, it is. It's literally an
It's
ugly
going
duckling,
through its
beautiful
awkward
swan.
years when it's not evolved.
Pretty much. No, it's cool. Hey, one thing I've discovered, though, which is actually a really neat feature in this game that I've not done before, is one of the things that usually prevents you from trading Pokemon in the game is you can usually only trade for a Pokemon that you've got in your Pokedex. So you need to either see it, and that means fighting against someone who's got it, usually one of the trainers in-game or a boss or another player, or you actually need to capture it to get the entry in your dex. But they've got a way to get around that with this game. You can actually find, like, every Pokemon in the game has a QR code associated with it. So the little sort of, pixely sort of square thing that you can scan with different devices. And you can actually scan QR codes in-game, and it actually gives you Pokedex entries. There's a limit to how many you can do at once. Like, it takes an hour to recharge, and you've got 10 scans you can kind of queue up. But when you do all 10 of your scans, it actually unlocks like an island scan feature, which allows you once per day to search for like a rare Pokemon on one of the islands as well. I just think it's really cool. So you can actually fill out your book, just by finding QR codes, and you can literally scan them off someone else's DS, or you can hunt them online, because there's a whole bunch of them up there essentially. So yeah, and it was just interesting. Good way to get hold of the ones that are otherwise very difficult to locate. So I thought it was
Good
cool.
way to introduce event-based Pokemon, potentially.
Possibly. Could be good. So
I
yeah.
also see that, I wasn't here last week, but I'm going to assume that Pokemon has become Luke's new Hearthstone, and we need like a time limit.
In terms of discussion on the show? Well,
Yeah.
I've been pretty good. Come on, I haven't.
Very, very passionate about the Pokemon.
Yeah, look, they're good games. I enjoy them greatly. So, and there's a lot of other people out there that share that as well. So I'm
It's
happy
true,
to
that's
oblige.
true.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one other thing I've been playing this week. Well, actually, that's a lie. Not one other thing. Another thing that I've been playing this week. I had actually missed out on the last episode of the Telltale Batman game due to issues that I've spoken about on the show before. But I saw that episode 4 was just launching this last week or so. So I thought, well, this is a chance to hop on and give it a go again. And I thought, well, what's a way I can get around the issues I've been having? I don't want to rebuy the game and put it on iPad, although that was an option. I genuinely was enjoying the story, just despite the fact that the game performance had been absolute dog shit. So I thought, well, I've got a laptop I can try this on. So I'll download it from Steam. I'll install it on a laptop. Maybe I've got a different sort of setup with regards to my video drivers there. It might be okay. So no, it didn't work. I couldn't even get the damn thing to run, like, let alone run properly. Like, I literally downloaded it, installed it on the laptop, and opened it up and was getting a black screen, even though I could hear everything that was going on. So I was like, oh, well,
Man.
this is not boding well. So I loaded it up on my original PC copy, and episode 3 and 4, as fate would have it, both ran perfectly. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this game.
It just needed the threat of you moving to the laptop, and it's like, oh, I better pick my shit up.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yep.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to just get a PC box and just sit it next to my laptop and threaten it.
Oh, could be. The threat of the alternative could be. Look, yeah. I've been pretty harsh on this game because of the performance issues up until this point, but I got to say, now that the game's actually running properly and I can enjoy the story for what it is, I have some pretty glowing things to say about episodes 3 and 4. There's going to be 5 episodes total, so this is getting into the real crux of the story, like things are really heating up. The shit that they are doing in this game, as far as Batman lore goes, is really different and really, really cool. So the Two-Face is one of the main villains in it. He is voiced, I believe, by Travis Willingsham. Is that how you pronounce your surname, Mimo? Critical Role,
Travis Willingham.
Willingham, that's right, yep. So
Will the Ham.
Will the Ham, yeah. So Grog in Critical Role for anyone who happens to watch or listen to that. So he did a fantastic job as Two-Face. And a lot of his character arc was sort of playing out in these episodes, which was really, really cool. Joker actually appears in the game as well. So they pretty heavily advertised this as part of the feature in episode 3 or 4, I believe. The Joker they've got's a lot younger and doesn't play as big a role, which I think was actually quite refreshing because I think we've had a bit of Joker saturation in recent years. So it was good to have him there, but not be like one of the main big bads as of yet. He's definitely got an important part to play, and I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up again later, but it was refreshing. But there was one other villain that I'm not going to say too much about because it's a pretty major plot spoiler, and there was a huge twist with this particular villain that I did not see coming, and was probably my highlight of the whole series. So more to do with the villain's identity. I was just like, holy shit, did not see that coming. So yeah, big fan of what they've done. And yeah, there was a lot less fighting in these 2 episodes though. Like it was a lot more story, a lot more sort of investigative stuff. In Batman, they do this really cool thing where you go to a crime scene and there's a whole bunch of different sort of things on the crime scene where you can sort of pick apart different bits of evidence that are spread around the place. And it actually encourages you to link different bits of evidence to each other to sort of recreate a scene. And linking them together in the right sequence, it sort of tells you more information. You can sort of resequence some things as well, but you don't actually finish the scene until you get it all in the right sort of order, and then the story progresses. I really like it. It's different to all the other Telltale games I've played so far, so it's a good storytelling mechanism. So yeah, big fan. Now that it actually works, I'm enjoying it like I should have originally. Essentially, so yeah, which is good. Now the other one, and this is probably the big one for the week, I played a game beginning to end that I should have played a lot of fucking years ago. And that I have jammed to think for mostly. I did pick it up at the last Steam sale, and I've been having her on my case ever since because she's been wanting to play it all the freaking time. And that is Portal 2. I caught up, guys. I've now played Portal 2. I did it.
You're only a few years late to the party.
I am. What is it? Is that 2010 or 2011? It's a little while ago.
It is a very decent while ago.
Anyway, someone look it up. Yeah, so Portal
2011.
2011, yeah. So Portal 2, it's exactly the kind of game that I absolutely love, and I knew that would be the case, and I sat down and I did not want to stop playing it, and I finished the whole thing in like 2 days. So, yep.
Good job.
Pretty freaking good.
You played a lot of things this week.
I played a lot of things this week. Yeah, I did. No, Portal, awesome game. Story was a lot more engrossing than I thought it would be as well. Love the humor, love the commentary from the different characters in the game. The voiceover from GLaDOS was awesome. The voiceover from Cave Johnson in particular, holy fuck, that was funny. Olly, you'll know what I'm talking about. Remember, Jim, you played Portal before?
I have not. I'm not a massive big puzzle game person, so...
Yeah. Look, I think that the puzzles of this game, and this is not going to be telling anyone anything new if you've played the game before.
Shake away, sir.
Because it's a while ago. I don't think I've seen anything the like of these puzzles since that game came out. Like, it is so unique. There is nothing I can think of that compares to it, which is impressive. It's really, really impressive. Because mechanics like that, you tend to think get sort of taken and adapted and done again in different ways with different spins again by other games. But this one doesn't appear to have been picked up and touched by anyone else, which I think is really good.
Yeah, no one's kind of taken that idea, really.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is cool. Like, originally getting into it, I was thinking to myself, okay, surely there's going to be ways to break this game way open because you could just put a portal on any surface and go through it and then into, another sort of surface. Surely the game's not going to be able to account for all the possible places where you could do that. But as it turns out, you can't portal onto every surface in a room. You can only portal onto certain areas. So that does limit it somewhat. Yeah, which is cool.
Can you imagine if you could do it anywhere, though? God, the shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there is one part very, very late in the game where you do portal onto a surface that is a long freaking way away, and it creates a big bit of destruction. So, yeah, there are consequences for that sort of thing. Ollie knows what I'm talking about. So, without spoiling it, one of my favourite video game endings to date. I loved the ending of this game so much.
days.
Oh, so good. Yeah, it was incredible. I was a big fan. So, and then Jam and I got in and started playing some multiplayer. So we actually...
Oh, how good is it?
Oh, man, it's awesome. It's so good.
It's the best.
Yeah. So I would be happy to do this with any of you guys because the multiplayer portal maps, like the community map creator, actually looks really interesting too. And I'm going to have to jump in and make some of those. I had a bit of problem sort of loading some of the community creations. I think it might have just been a connection bug at the time. But I know that a good friend of ours, Simon's been playing a bit of it lately and he's been checking out some of the community creations and he's spoken very highly of them. So, really super keen to get in and do that. And I think Jam and I are going to do some videos later in the week of that kind of thing once I can get her back on and doing some gaming. So, yeah.
Did you play as Atlas or Peabody?
I played as Peabody and
the
Jam was
character
Atlas.
called Peabody?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the really tall, orange flavoured.
Nobody told
robot.
me there was a character called
And Atlas is the
Peabody.
small blue one.
Yeah, I think Peabody looks feminine, personally. So, but I think that Atlas is the one that you have by default if you are the one hosting the game.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it works, unless it's random. But I don't think it is. I think it's kind of like player one, player two kind of setup. So, yeah.
Cool.
So that's me. I played a bunch of stuff this week. I played a little bit of Armello too, and Imogen did also. So
I played.
And we both achieved a milestone this week. So
Yeah. Mine was hard won. Yours not so much. You did it very easily. I finally got my rot victory in Armello after what seems like a million years.
Yeah.
For those of you playing at home who haven't heard of Armello, why haven't you been listening to us all year? Mm-hmm. And also, Armello is sort of a board game-esque multiplayer game done by League of Geeks. It's really great. There's 4 main ways to win, and one of which is to become more corrupted than the king, and then you steal his dice from him, a lot of dice from him, and defeat him being a more corrupted creature. And the challenge with corruption is that you lose 1 health every dawn, so you've got that to contend with. Also, gaining the rot in the first place becomes difficult, so I think I would have played... in one day, I think I played 6 games of Armello.
Wow.
I had a day off work, so I played 6 games of Armello, and it was on my second last game of that day that I finally got a rot victory. And I swore from that moment that I would never try and do a rot victory again because it just was not my style of play at all. I tried lots of different characters. I ended up getting a rot victory as... Sargon, yeah. Which I tried initially. Everyone told me, even Darcy from League of Geeks, when we did the interview at PAX, said, try Sargon. So I did him for a while, but that didn't work out. I got really close with Ghoul, which is the stupid bear that turns into a tree. I call him I Am Groot. In Forest. But Sargon definitely was probably the easiest to do it because of his special power. He can see that you draw cards at the beginning of your turn and you draw cards, up to, and you get to see as Sargon what the top one is. So you can easily choose between a spell or an item or a trickery if it says that it's a rot card. Otherwise, it's very random.
Yeah.
Or you have to rely upon suiciding against Banes. And I had one particular game where I actually tried 4 times to die by the hands of a Bane and just successfully killed all of them against all of the odds. So I won that one on prestige. I abandoned a rot victory and went for a prestige victory. But oh gosh. And then Luke, he just kind of stumbled on. I'm like, I guess I'll do a rot victory.
I had this awesome 2 calls for school moment when I was playing with you and Jason. There was this one turn where I had a like a lightning bolts type card or something, and I targeted Imogen and killed her. And she's just like, "Why the hell did you do that? Jason's like way in the lead. You need to stop him, otherwise he's going to get the victory." And I had I think virtually no cards left in hand, and I was just like, "Don't worry, I got this." I drew a whole bunch of cards and got exactly the combination I needed to kill the shit out of him in one fell swoop. Yeah. So I was just like, "Yep,
you did good."
I meant to do that.
Yeah.
Humble
brag.
Yeah,
it was very frustrating.
It all worked out.
That took every ounce of my optimism to be happy for you in that win. Smiling through my teeth.
It must have been hard.
You did great. Yeah, good. Yeah, awesome. Good job.
No, I had a good week this week. I've only played 3 games, but I won all 3 straight, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I got my right victory too. So
guys, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go wash my hair or I don't know, something else.
I'm definitely a Sargon
it was
convert
well
like you, though. Sargon is the bee's knees. Being able to look at your cards before you draw them.
Sargon.
Oh, he's great.
He's too creepy. He's so spoopy. I don't like him.
He's super good. Yeah, so that's a whole bunch of gaming. We've done a bit this week. It's cool. Some new stuff on there. I was going to ask Jem about her gaming during the week as well, because I know that she got on and played some No Man's Sky after the recent update this week. But we'll have to wait for her commentary on that next week. But we can talk about what that update was. So moving into gaming news of the week, let's talk some No Man's Sky, guys, because I know that, Olly, you saw this and you were kind of intrigued and wanted to hop back in and have a look-see.
I was intrigued.
So I have the Hello Games list up about the update 1.1, they're calling it, the Foundation update. The catch line for the Foundation update is it adds the foundations of base building and is a foundation for things to come. This is the first of many free updates. Now, interestingly enough, this is kind of the first instance besides the shenanigans a couple of months ago where someone's Twitter account got hacked, where Hello Games have actually broken radio silence and said stuff to the internets. They've been very quiet up until the controversy surrounding the release.
You wouldn't want to say, guys, we've got an update coming. It's going to be great. It's going to include these things. After that's what they did with their game, and then they got hung by the internet for it. So, you know, we were saying that we wanted them to say something, but I guess in the end, like now that we've had this announcement, it kind of makes sense to me. Like they wanted to make sure until it was solid. I think the name is very auspicious in that they're calling it the Foundation update, as in they are now setting a base, a solid base for the rest of the game. So
yeah,
and it looks great. I mean, I've always been optimistic about this game. Yeah. I was very sad for them when the internet got out their pitchforks, and I will definitely be checking out the update. It looks cool.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I think that waiting until they actually had something to deliver as far as communications go was absolutely the right move for exactly the reason that you said. Now, I think probably out of the four of us, I've perhaps been the most critical of No Man's Sky and Hello Games over the last sort of period. I think I
have
probably
you heard me talk?
You've been pretty critical, Ollie, but I think I've probably been a little bit more so compared to usual. But what I will say is, looking down the list of features in this update, I am massively impressed with what they've managed to turn around in the amount of time
they've had. It's a shame you got a refund on the game, isn't it?
I did not.
You said you did.
No, I had a refund on something else when we were talking about Steam refunds. I didn't refund No Man's Sky. I was suggesting that other people should. I did not.
Don't.
No. I've played more than enough hours in this game to sort of have, gotten a decent amount out of it, and I probably will jump in at a later stage. I don't know, speaking purely from a personal perspective, I don't know if everything in the Foundation update is enough to drag me back in yet, but I suspect that it will happen at some point in the future, just at a time where I've got a little bit less on my plate, essentially. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think No Man's Sky, that's what I wanted the game to be, is something that I can just come back to and poodle around the universe. And so, because poodle is a verb, of course, in my world at least. But yeah, the Foundation update is kind of cool. And I'm looking forward to getting in. I can build my base. I can hire people to come and work with me. And I can play the intergalactic stock market, which, just everything about it just yells Sims City.
Plus, and also there's a creative mode now.
Yeah, so you can just go in and just hang out. Yeah, if you just want to build shit, you want to hang out on a cool planet. I hope I can find Mim Narnia again, because that planet was cool. It was looked like Narnia. It's lots of pine trees. It could be my Christmas world. Oh, it's done. I'm going to find it again.
Well, one thing you can do now too is that when you build a base, if you want to pick your home planet, if you like, you can build what's called a terminus teleporter in a space station to teleport to and from your base.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, and that was always the thing. I'm I love this planet. I don't want to leave this planet because I'll never find it again. So that's awesome. I am a bit worried about how many resources this is all going to take.
Creative mode, you'll be fine.
Yeah, just go into creative mode. But that's cheating.
Is it?
The great part of it is to challenge is to build yourself up, and so then you get upgrades. And I built this from my hands.
Think about it like
Minecraft. I have
a
pimping space freighter.
Think about it like Minecraft, Imogen. How much fun did you have in creative mode in Minecraft?
Oh, but I also when we do the other builds. Yeah, I guess I'll enjoy it.
Why'd you have both?
Yeah.
Oh wait,
okay,
you can.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the hard way first, and then when I get fed up with that, then I'll go into creative mode.
That's fair.
I give you
That's what happens in Minecraft.
half an hour.
Can you?
I miss
what I'm
Minecraft.
actually
Listening to us.
What I'm actually curious about, though, is whether you can actually switch at will between the different modes in one game, or whether you have to start a new game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Because there's
I
three
think
game
you'd have
modes
to
now.
start a
There's,
new game.
there's normal mode, which is basically what we're used to. There's creative mode, which is what Imogen was talking about a second ago. So you can build the universe without limits. You know, you can
And survival.
and survival. Yeah, so that's the challenging experience where you have to do a bit of combat and stuff. So yeah, I'm
around.
curious whether you can switch between them or not. That would be.
I imagine, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate because I don't want to kill this game with speculation.
Do it.
I
Burn
hope
with
that
fire.
I hope that you can just change modes, but then I don't know how you would switch to creative and then switch back to survival when you've got everything on that same planet. It would have to be 2 instances, so hopefully you can recreate your
Why would it be?
Sorry?
Why would it be?
That's what I'm saying. It can't. Like you,
No,
you
like
can't.
it can be. It would just be like Minecraft. You go, I'm now in creative. Now I'm in survival.
Yeah, but then you're in a survival world with advantages of creative, and I don't know if
Yes.
the game would. I don't know.
That's not super difficult to do.
Well, you're only
No,
cheating
I'm
yourself
not saying
essentially.
it's difficult to do. I'm talking about what the game's trying to achieve with the survival mode. That it seems like cheating. But I guess then it's up to each individual
Or put it this
person
way: anyone who's
wanna do
playing
it.
survival mode already has imposed that challenge on themselves, and so they're probably not the people that would then immediately just go into creative
and
if
then
they're
back
already in
again.
survival. Like that
Yeah.
defeats the whole point of even attempting survival.
You'd also be
True.
assuming that in creative mode that there would be absolutely no enemies to fight and that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't say necessarily that those are turned off. You would just assumedly have like a better stack of resources to deal with that kind of threat. So
Yeah, I think we'll have to play it and see and
Yeah.
report back. But it looks good. Jump back on
few
board,
other
peeps.
things that they've added as well. They've got farming, so you can actually create like indoor hydroponic labs and
Yeah,
things.
that looked cool.
Which is cool. So you can take little bits of
idea.
flora from different planets. Making camp, so you can now sort of make camp at different places, and there's a few other things you can set up, like communication terminals and things like that. Freighters, so you can actually purchase massive interstellar freighters.
I want one of these.
Yeah, so they can be teleported to. You can teleport resources to your freighter while you're on planet, so you can stockpile goods for trading. Oh, speaking of stockpiling goods, they've actually reduced the stack limits as well for different resources in your
I
inventory.
mean, increased.
No, increased, and they've allowed some items to be stacked that weren't previously stackable.
So yeah, reduce the restrictions is what I meant. So yeah. So that all will contribute to a much better game experience. I'm looking at the list of stuff and thinking, yep. That all sounds pretty awesome. So yeah, well done. Good job, Hello Games. Will it be enough? That is the question, though. We will see. But it seems that a lot of people are flooding back. So if they can keep them there, then that could be doing a bit to repair some of the goodwill that they lost previously. We will see.
Gamers are fickle. If they give if people already had the game and they felt burnt by it, if they release a stack of updates that are free, and they're awesome, then great.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing that they can do, and they're doing it well so far.
Yep.
Early reports are good.
Agreed. All right, let's talk about something a bit fun. So we just missed this last week, and it was kind of on topic for us talking about the Game Awards, which are actually taking place tomorrow morning. That crept up quick. So I will be watching that and probably tweeting stuff or sending messages to you guys as things break. So Steam have decided to get in on the action as well, and for the first time ever, Valve are doing the Steam Awards. So they've said that they're doing it for the first time in human history. So, the prestigious
so smart.
Steam Awards, yeah. Look, I mean, the cynic in me sort of looks at what they're doing and thinks that this is a really, really good vehicle for boosting interest in games that they've got on their store, and it probably is a large degree of that, but they've done it in a totally fun way, so I'm actually totally fine with it. So there's a whole bunch of different categories that they're doing awards for, not too dissimilar from ones that you may have seen the Game Awards do, but there's a few sort of wacky ones at the same time.
Yep.
Villain Most in Need of a Hug Award, Best Use of a Farm Animal Award.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Did you see that? So League of Geeks have come out and they have a campaign at the moment. They want Armello to win Best Use of Farm Animal, even though there is no farm animals in the game.
Isn't there? I would say there is.
No, because everyone's talking about the Best Use of Farm Animal Steam Award just being a nod to what was that game that you all got
Goat
obsessed
Simulator.
with? No.
Oh, no. Armello. Not Armello.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Begins with an S.
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
You can have a chicken. Yeah, Stardew Valley. Exactly right. So they were just like, everyone was like, well, that's just the Stardew Valley award. So the League of Geeks gone, no, vote for Armello. Let's screw with this. I voted for Armello as just 10 more minutes. That game for me, which was so the category is just 10 more minutes. So the games that suck you in.
Such a good category.
Such a great category, and so many things you can put in there.
That was the one that was labelled as just the Civ Award, though.
The Civ Award. But that's the thing, if you look at these things super literally, but it's that, if you think about it, I was thinking about Armello, and I was like, it is the game. I go, I'll play one more game, and each game can sometimes take 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it. I do just say, I'll just play one more game, and then I'm there until midnight playing a game against randoms on the internet. So.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think one of the best things they've done with this Valve Awards is that they've allowed people to nominate games that are older as well. So it's really opened it up to everything.
Award.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be interesting to see if they do the same categories again next year, which I suspect they probably will do some of the same.
What would be great is if some really obscure one wins, like the villain in need of a hug, and then it just becomes tradition that person wins it all the time.
Could be. Who
Still needs hugs.
Who would you say villain most in need of a hug would be? That was what I actually thought about for a while, and I could not come up with anybody. That was a tough one.
Villain most in need of a hug.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, the bag.
Does it have to be from this year, or is it any game on Steam?
Any game ever.
Any game on Steam.
Yeah. I don't know.
That is a toughie.
That is a real toughie.
The thing that instantly pops into my head is like the bad guy from the Lego movie. I guess they made a Lego movie game.
Oh, President Business.
Yeah.
I actually have a
Steve
Lego
Bug.
figure of him sitting on top of my computer right now.
Of course you do. Yeah, no, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that needs a hug.
Yeah. Well, funny story, and I'll share this. I'll share this because this is actually kind
How
of
about the bird baddie from Ori?
I wouldn't hug it.
I was going to say that, but I haven't finished.
Yeah. No, so the reason why I've got a President Business Lego figure on top of my computer, this is a reminder for me as a father, actually. So do you guys remember the moral of the story with the Lego movie? Was about sort of,
Don't be a dick.
President Business sort of getting so caught up in his way to play with his toys that he didn't share with his kids. And, he was forcing his children to sort of, keep at arm's length from his fun. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's a reminder for me to not ever do that, basically, with my own kids. So that's why I keep it up there at all times. So there you go.
I like that you need a constant reminder to not be a dick. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Well, I could have gotten a tattoo, but
I'm glad you have it. I'd rather you have it than you didn't.
Yeah, sure. All right. Anyway, Steam Awards. Sounds like fun. Another thing that's fun, talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon before, there is a little bit of news this week on those games. They're actually doing their first global event for the games, and this one's kind of cool. So they've actually got a global mission that everybody can take part in, and what it is it's kind of like everybody working together around the world using the sort of sync feature of their games to link up to the internet and actually try and get, I think it's 100 million caught Pokemon over the course of a set period of time. Yeah, but this is like everybody playing the game in the world. So
that's a lot of Pokemon.
It's a lot of friggin' Pokemon. Like, it's obviously, to get a bit of media, to, attract attention, set some records, that kind of thing. But if you take part, you can actually get a whole bunch of sort of festival coins, which is one of the currencies used in games to unlock stuff. So there's actually a pretty good incentive for taking part. You'll get a bit of a bonus if you just take part, but if everybody worldwide actually meets the goal, then you get a whole stack more of them. So kind of cool little incentive there to get involved. First time they've done something like this, though, so I really like the idea. I think it's quite unique and intriguing. So, yeah, there you go. Should we talk a bit of Blizzard? Because, it's party loaded. That's the thing that we do.
Can we hurry up and get sponsored by Blizzard already?
We could do that, yeah.
Another game to add to my shame pile. God. Okay.
Ollie, did you see the Overwatch map that was live on the public test realm this week? The Oasis map?
I did. It looks really cool.
Yep. So
jump pads and stuff.
Yeah.
Or jump pad.
Jump pad. How would you describe this?
And traffic.
Yeah, traffic.
It has cars that zoom and run you over, and it looks horrifying. I'm going to die so often.
Well, I like how the video we saw, the guy was like, something outside the map, and you won't really see it. I guarantee you I will die every time by being run over by a car.
Oh, yeah. Like Farah boops, Lucio boops, Yeah, there's going to be a lot of booping
Yeah.
into that area.
Yeah.
Well, the video I saw was them actually showcasing how Genji can apparently actually jump over the cars, but he was, jumping over a car, then getting flattened by the next one behind it. So it wasn't exactly foolproof.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tough.
Yeah. But I love the fact that they're introducing new features like this. It's a hell of a lot more interesting getting killed by oncoming traffic than just falling off the edge of the world.
Yeah, and introducing jump pads is I like as a map concept because it means that mobility isn't always done to the same characters. Like, you're not always looking up and going, oh, there's the Genji. Oh, there's the Pharah, or whatever. Or there's the Lucio on the walls. Now it's like, oh, what? That's a Reinhardt above me. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I like that dynamic. I think the maps need, and I think you'll find this more going forwards, the maps need more verticality access, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yep, I agree. And that's what they did really well with the new sort of arcade
Yeah,
map.
Antarctica map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Agreed.
No, my only criticism with the jump pad, and it is pad singular in the new Oasis map, is that A, it's only singular and it's only on one of the 3 parts of the map that you use for the different point captures. But my other sort of complaint with it is that they could have put it in a more impactful location because it doesn't actually look like it's in anywhere that would matter on that map.
Ooh, it does.
You think so?
Yeah, it lets you overlook a point, the
Okay.
main point, quite well.
All right, we'll
which
have
is
to
a
wait and see
pretty
when
big
we
deal.
play it. Yeah. I don't know. It could be interesting. Yeah, I just wish they had put more of them up. I think it would be good. Something that, sure, you don't want to overuse it, but a couple of them would have been good. So we will see.
Generally, you want to do either, if you're going to do that, you do 1 on each side, or you do 1 or 2 that are equally accessible from both sides, so in the middle.
Agreed.
That's generally the way that the good Quake maps and Doom maps used to do it.
That's probably what I would have preferred too, because then you could have potentially 2 players at the same time launching themselves into the stratosphere, trying to gun each other down as they fall.
I have a feeling the only reason they put 1 in is they'll test it out, they'll see what people's feedback is. If the people are like, boo, we hate it, they go, easy fix, gone.
No one's going to hate this. I'm going to call that now.
No, but if they do,
Yeah.
then it's a test bed and it's an easy, because it's in the location it is, you can just go, whoop, there's a stairs up or whatever.
Okay.
Much easy fixed.
Yeah,
If
no.
they do multiples and people are like, this is the worst thing ever, what are you doing? Then it's much harder to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We will see. There's certainly scope to add a whole bunch of different sort of maps and mechanics, and the fact that they're experimenting with a few things on this one is promising, so it could be a sign of things to come.
I want more of this stuff.
Yeah.
Give me more of that.
Big fan. Speaking of stuff that I want to get more of, Hearthstone, finally, expansion date announced. It's coming out this Thursday, so that is...
Tomorrow.
Well, it's the 1st of December technically,
Friday.
but that's going to be the 2nd for us, realistically. So,
Yeah.
timeline-wise.
So by the time this comes out, Luke will be playing Hearthstone.
I will, but I will say, this is the first expansion that I have not pre-ordered, and do you want to know why?
because
Because
there's
you
no
have
point.
it on both accounts.
No, it's because there's no pre-order bonus with a card back this time. So that's why.
Far out.
Yeah.
Got a problem, dude.
I know. No, I've been saving up a whole bunch of in-game gold, so I'm just going to, splash out on packs this time. It'll be cool. I got to say, though, for the first time in a while, I'm a little concerned about this one. I'm just a little bit concerned about this expansion. They did a pre-release stream on Twitter the other night at about 2 in the morning, and I, of course, stayed up and watched the whole thing.
Of course
and
you did.
they were sort of showcasing the new mechanics with a whole bunch of different decks and things. Looking at the decks that they were playing through with a whole bunch of the new cards, I was immediately struck by how visible the power creep was compared to the last couple of expansions they've had. So I'm a little concerned about that. It may have just been a corner case scenario because of the combinations they had, but it did look pretty frightening from my perspective. So we will see. We'll see. But I mean, Hearthstone's good like that. When you see, decks with big fatties and, massive creatures that look really imposing, they can often just be beat by, swarming weenie decks that just spam, low cost creatures and, just go face immediately and win the game before anything else can, stand in opposition. So there is that.
Swings and roundabouts.
We will find out. Yeah. But yeah, the artwork of this expansion is probably the highlight. I think it looks amazing. Really, some of their best work to date, which is good. So yeah, looking forward to that later this week. All right, well, let's get on to our topic of the week, and we sort of did mention it a little briefly before. So coming up to the end of the year, it's a time where, as sales are on and, Christmas release schedules happen, and, we've just gotten through peak video game season where there's a lot of new games that we've picked up some of, and some of the other ones we haven't had time to do. We kind of look back on the amount of stuff that we've committed to over the last year plus and realize that there's a lot of stuff that we haven't finished. And little shameful in cases. So we over time, and sometimes this can span more than a calendar year as well, we tend to accumulate a bit of what we call a pile of shame. So the pile of shame can take many different forms. It can be a physical pile of like literal games that you've purchased and not actually played or finished. It could be a metaphysical sort of pile of shame of games that you've intended to purchase and not actually gotten around to, but you really, really still want to play them.
That sounds like such a clusterfuck. A metaphysical pile of shame.
I was impressed you said it without stuffing up.
A theoretical pile of shame. Yeah.
Someone's going to be talking to their therapist, and that's going to become a thing. Like, you have to get rid of your metaphysical pile of shame.
See your doctor and take 2 in the morning to get rid of your metaphysical pile of shame. Yeah.
Side effects may include.
Yeah, side effects may include loss of sleep, purchases of all new game titles.
Loss of money.
Loss of money, exactly.
Oh.
Temporary memory loss.
Yep. Staying up till 3 a.m. to watch Hearthstone streams. All these
Becoming
things.
an actual vampire.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Anyway, so we've all got them. Some of them are bigger than others. Mine's quite colossal and would have included Portal 2 if I hadn't have finished it this week. So I've got one off the list already.
That's why you played it, isn't it?
It was convenient.
The whole reason he played it.
It was kind of convenient. I'm not going to lie. It did work out well timed. So, yeah. Oh, look, it absolutely would have been on the list.
I'm guilty as well, so...
Yeah.
Just as guilty.
So, all right, let's kick in. So we've got a few titles. I suggested that we could come up with a top 5, but I think that I'm probably the only one who succeeded in having 5. So, Imogen, do you want to start? Because you had an interesting take on it before that we were discussing earlier this evening. So what would you consider to be things that fit on your pile of shame, and then what stuff actually sits on there at the moment?
Well, okay, so I feel like I have to preface and say there is plenty of games that I have not played that I admit that one day I will have to play because there's a big gap in my gaming from when I was pretending that I didn't play video games for many years and just playing World of Warcraft. So we'll call it the World of Warcraft years. So my pile of shame isn't, because that list will be long, like Mass Effect, BioShock, like big franchises that I've like not taken on board. My pile of shame instead is games that I own. And I'm not a completionist. We've talked about this in previous episodes. I don't really care if I enjoy a game and whatever, but I don't finish it. I'm not that fussed. So Skyrim was perfect for me because you just kind of poodle around. Like you can finish the game, but you can go and do other stuff. So for me, my shame pile is games that I've started playing and I loved and I really want to finish. And for that reason, well, I'll leave the main one till last, but the first one I've got is Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I bought on Xbox. I bought it on Xbox because I wanted to play my Xbox more often because we play a fair amount of PC games. And it's an awesome game, and it's exactly the type of game that I play. I get to fire arrows, and yes, there was the deer incident, but we don't have to talk about that again.
Hey, I was going to bring it up, but you did.
Yep.
No,
I was.
I knew one of you was going to, so I might as well speak the devil's name myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider, great game, and I'm not even really that far through, and I think the main reason I haven't played it is because it's on my Xbox, and so we sit down to play, and we all jump on Mumble. It's PC games, so maybe I should have bought it on my PC, but we all know how well my PC goes at playing games right now, so maybe it was
probably
for the best.
die with Tomb Raider.
Which is also second on the list is Fallout 4, which I bought beginning of this year with everybody else, like super hyped. I was ready to play it. It's probably the only physical game that I've bought in the last couple of years as well. I went to a store and I physically bought a copy of it. I know.
Wow.
I went to a store. Very Queensland accent of me.
I can't really give you crap about that though, because I still do that all the time too. So yeah.
And now I mean it played on my laptop fine. So that's why I'm super confused about why GTA won't play. But yeah, Fallout 4 again. It's a perfect game for me. I loved it. I've never played any of the Fallout series before, and then as soon as I got my Pip-Boy and I turned on that radio, it was perfect listening to the sad announcer. Oh, can I nominate him for In Need of a Hug? He's not a villain, really. But
He just needs a hug.
He just needs a hug. Guy who needs a hug. The radio announcer on Fallout 4, post-apocalyptic sadness. That game's great. And I think both of those are games that I'm going to probably play a lot of over Christmas. But the biggest thing, and this is not just a shame pile, I actively am shameful for not finishing this game. Just generally, like I'll be on the train on the way to work and be like, oh man, just why do you have to be so crap at finishing games? Like,
and to be fair, the shame pile in this particular instance has grown considerably because certain people, not looking at Olly or I, are on your back constantly about it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Bentley, you
So,
can't look at me because we're talking on
again,
Skype.
for those of you who haven't been listening to the podcast since we started, one of the first games that I talked about on this show was a game that I picked up prior to it being nominated. I knew about it before it was cool, guys, and told you guys all about Ori and the Blind Forest because I played it at PAX in 2013.
You did?
No, 2014. Yeah.
That doesn't make it better.
No, so I told you all about the game, that I was playing the game and that I loved it, and then I got distracted doing something else and you all picked it up, which I was not expecting, and then you all finished the game. And you're all like, oh, so how about that ending? And I'd be like, so I haven't actually finished the game.
Mimo, I am disappointed.
To this day, haven't. I own it. This is my Hearthstone because I own it on PC and Xbox, so I've played it probably about 50% through on my PC, and just this past week and a half because I knew we were doing this episode and I got the real shames, and so I actually put some time into playing it on my
It is
Xbox.
not your Hearthstone, because if it was your Hearthstone, you'd be playing it every fucking day.
Well, no, but I have two versions of it. So I've played 50% through on my PC and now just over 50% on my Xbox. So really, I finished the game. Like, I played a whole game.
Sure.
Just the same
No.
part twice.
No.
And I love this
No.
game. I don't know what it. I'm just it's difficult, and it does really have a scale. It's a platformer, which is not my natural wheelhouse at all. I am shocking at platformer games. You guys have seen this many times.
I've seen you rock
has
a
been
Mario
witnessed.
pretty well, though, so I don't think that's entirely
Mario's
true.
different. Mario's so different. Mario's like muscle memory to me. It was like the only game I had for years.
Well, you've played this
That's
first half of the
different.
game twice now, so it should be getting to that muscle memory
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, I knew you were going to
Basically,
bring that
at
up.
that point.
God damn it. God damn it, in your astute nature. Yeah, so Ori and the Blind Forest is my biggest shame pile, and rightly so. I absolutely adore this game. Anyone who I ever speak to who they're like, I'm not really a gamer, but I'm thinking about picking up a game, it has to be Ori and the Blind Forest. It's beautiful, it's stunning, it's cute, adorable, and it talks about nature in the forest, and it's good. But
It's just a shame
now
you haven't
I'm-
finished it.
Oh, shut up! That's why we're talking about shame games. I'm gonna throw so much in your face, Ollie. Yeah, so that's my shame pile. And like I said, there's plenty of other games that the internet are gonna be like, oh, you should totally have played this. And what do you mean you haven't played Mass Effect? Which is exactly what Luke did when he found out. And even when we were planning today's session, he's like, you sure you don't want to add this to your list? Get out of my face. You don't get to push it in my shame pile. You don't get to
Yes,
tell
we
me what
do.
I'm ashamed of. Nope.
Actually, can we give it to her for Christmas? We'll give it,
Ooh.
we'll buy physical copies of all three games and put them in front of her and be like, shame.
Don't need more
And
to
I'll get
play.
a bell and ring it.
That's not a bad idea.
Shame. Shame.
Imogen, I was
See
going
if
to
I've
make...
got like a copy lying around somewhere.
I was going to make one suggestion though. As far as like you playing on PC versus Xbox because of the team chat with the rest of us and that kind of thing, you might want to consider doing what I've done, because I've actually got my Xbox on my desk next to my PC, and what I'm using is actually the Xbox software that comes with Windows 10 to actually just stream it through my computer monitor. So I'm playing on the
Yeah, I've
Xbox, but
thought
just playing through that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that, but the thing I love about my Xbox is like sitting on my couch and sitting back and being relaxed, which is
That's fair. Yeah.
not where I'm at. I have thought about like logging onto Mumble like via my phone and all sorts of random things, because I do like, for me, games are social. So maybe what's going to happen is you guys can come and scream at me while I finish Ori and the Blind Forest,
Yep.
and
Well,
then watch me cry
the
inevitably
phone app
at
for
the
Mumble
ending.
is
I'm
is
okay
really
with
good.
this idea.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that for Christmas. You guys can come over and watch me finish the game and then cry.
Sure.
Sounds festive.
We should
Be
actually
cheerful.
come up with a team game to do at Christmas this year, because we did Her Story last year and that was a lot of fun. So we should come up with something. That would be cool.
I'd say
I'm
Ori.
still creeped out by that damn game.
We'll think of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah,
Ollie,
that's
you
my
or me
shame.
next? How would you like to
You go.
go? Okay.
You
all
go.
right.
Go on. Go on.
All right. Well, so my list is a bit different, and mine's a bit different because, unlike Imogen, I do sort of consider myself at the whims of the mass market in terms of what I feel I should have played, because people say it's good and I haven't played it. And I do like to try and play just about all the big franchises out there. And there's a few notable ones that I've missed, and I kind of feel a bit guilty about having not touched them. So I have included those on the list. Portal 2 was probably top of the list until I finished it this week, so yay me. That was good. Timing.
Yay.
The one that still sort of sits pretty much at the top for me, though, and part of the reason why this is the case is because I actually own one of them at least. I may even own two. I have to go back and check. Actually, no, I definitely do own two because I inherited one from our friend JJ when he dumped his gear on me when he moved internationally. So, yeah, I haven't played any Halo games, guys, and I feel like that's something that I should do.
Dude. Even I've played a Halo game. I have played 3 Halo games.
Yeah.
I am shit at all of them, but I played them.
Now,
I'm amazed at you, Luke.
The thing is, I never owned an original Xbox. Like, I've got one now because I inherited it from someone. You didn't? Right, okay. Well,
No.
Xbox was... I mean, Halo was kind of the game that launched the Xbox. Really, it was synonymous with that console, and because I didn't have the original one, I think that's part of the reason why I never got into it. I did have a 360. I came to that reasonably late in the console cycle, though, so I think I probably missed the release date of a couple of them. And so, I've got an Xbox One now, so in theory, I could get Halo 6. Are we up to now? But I don't know. I know the games are going to be good. I know that I'll enjoy them. Sci-fi shooty combat is stuff that appeals to me. And I know that they're kind of defining games in terms of, video gaming in the last decade. And for that reason, I feel like I really have missed out on something and I need to attack them at some point. So...
you have.
Yeah, so there you go. That's why that's on the list. Thanks, man. All right.
Welcome.
So now the next one is a bit of a weird one. I'm a massive fan of the Zelda franchise. Like, I've played pretty much every Zelda game. Like, I've done some of the really obscure ones too. Like, you ever heard of the Minish Cap? You ever played that?
Nope.
Not many people have, but that's a good example of a Zelda game that a lot of people may have skipped over, but I've played. So whether it's, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, Link Between Worlds, which is possibly one of my favorites ever. That game is awesome. It's the 3DS one with the paintings. You can turn yourself into a painting and sort of move across the walls. It's awesome. So all of those, the one Zelda game that is critically acclaimed as possibly being the best of all of them is the one Zelda game that I haven't actually played, and that's Ocarina of Time. So I feel
Wait, what?
super
Even
bad.
I've played that one.
Yeah, I've never played Ocarina. Never. It's just,
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Played Majora's Mask.
I thought that was mandatory for Zelda fans.
I know. So, it's... Yeah,
Rub that salt in.
I feel
Rub
a
it
bit
into
bad
them
about that one.
wounds.
And it's actually out on 3DS now, so I'll have to pick it up on that and play it, I think, at the very least.
Hey, there you go. That's a good... That, I think, will be a very decent platform to play on it.
I think so too. Like they ported Majora's Mask to 3DS too, and that was really, really good. And I think that they generally do a pretty good job with the 3DS Zelda games. I haven't had a bad experience with those yet, so I'm looking forward to it. I might do that over Christmas. We'll see. I do have a couple of other DS games taking up my time at the moment. Pokemon being both of them.
As I say, is it called Pokemon?
Yeah, pretty much.
The end. I have a couple of games. They're all called Pokemon.
Yeah, one belongs to me, one belongs to my son. Anyway, third on my list, sort of motoring through, Half-Life. I've not played either of the Half-Lives. I feel that's kind of important one that I've missed over that I really should play at some point. So,
It's a biggie.
Yep, kind of a biggie. I was umming and ahhing between that and System Shock because I've not played either, but I think Half-Life probably wins out of those two. So
why not both?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Half-Life I know a bit more about. I know a bit more about,
Yep.
and I think it probably appeals to me a bit more. So yeah. Skyrim I've spoken about before. I have not played Skyrim before. That is one that is lower on the list because I know that I will get to it probably in the near future. But I think I'm going to force myself to finish Witcher 3 before I start Skyrim because doing both at the same time seems like a bad plan. So yeah.
Can I just say,
Yeah, that
I
would
have
be
a sinking feeling you're going to be you're not going to be very disappointed, but you're going to be slightly disappointed at parts of Skyrim because of Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Right.
I reckon Witcher
I feel
3
like
will
you
have set
should
your
play-
bar very, very
Yeah.
high, and I think you're going to be a little bit let down by Skyrim. And not as
Well,
an
you've
overall
got the
experience, but as
remastered though, right?
parts.
You got the remastered version, right?
I'm just thinking from a storytelling point of view.
I've not purchased
Yeah,
it
yeah,
yet, so I'm actually tempted, and I may. I don't know if I'll do this or not, but I may get it on the Switch, depending. We'll see. Because it might be a decent game to put that thing through its paces when it comes out and actually see what it's capable
That's
of.
true, yeah.
So being able to play Skyrim on the go seems like an interesting experience too, and that would differ the experience to what I would do with Witcher also, so it would give that point of difference. So yeah, we'll see. Could be an interesting one.
It's a very cool idea.
And Bioshock Trilogy is the other one. That is on my list purely because I own Bioshock Infinite and I have not played it yet, so I need to get to that at some point.
Oh, You really should.
So which one do you like out of the three the most, Ollie?
I quite enjoyed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I also quite enjoyed the third.
Okay. Not a Bioshock 2 fan. That's interesting, because usually that's the one I hear about.
Like, I like Bioshock 2. Bioshock 1 for me was, that's a cool new concept.
Right.
And Bioshock 3, I had the most fun guessing at things.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, I enjoy the shit out of Bioshock 2, don't get me wrong. But, I don't know. The first and third stick out to me more.
Okay.
Like, from personal POV.
Interesting. I mean, there's a couple of other things that you mentioned, Imogen, as well, like Rise of the Tomb Raider I own and I haven't played it yet, but I'm not too fussed about that because I know that when I sit down and do that, it'll be like Portal. I'll just smash through it. So it doesn't seem like an insurmountable obstacle. I'll sort of just power through it one day. And I have finished the previous Tomb Raider too, so I kind of feel like I've got my quota of Tomb Raider to feel like I've been there a bit, at least. Fallout, I'm not actually as fussed about because I actually don't think I enjoyed that game as much as you guys. I did enjoy it, but it didn't really...
So you have no soul.
It didn't wrap me in as much as everyone else. So, yeah, it was good, but I'm not in a rush to get back to it. I will at some point, but yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, that's me. I've got a fair pile of shame there, which hopefully doesn't grow too much higher. So, yeah. Now, Ollie, for someone who feels no shame... I'm curious to see how this topic plays out for you. So what's actually on the list of things that you would like to play?
I'm going to start off with a slightly different take on the pile of shame thing.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to put in the MMO genre as one of my things of shame. Because by all rights, I should like the MMO genre and I should be playing MMOs.
Yes.
And I just don't.
I don't understand why.
And I'm like, I should like WoW. I like the World of Warcraft lore. I like how it looks. Things I've heard about how people have fun on it. I'm like, this sounds great. Just never did it. And a lot of MMOs that people are like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. It's amazing because you can have multiple people slicing that bread. I'm like, I never got around to it.
Now, Ollie,
MMOs for some reason.
I like that.
Yeah, and then that sort of went by the wayside.
Yeah.
Well, like all games, because we have gamer ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there was no... Like, I didn't complete it or anything. There's no end game.
Hook. Yep.
I completely understand where you're coming from, Ollie, and I think it's actually the same reason why it took me a long time to get into World of Warcraft as well. Like, I actually only came into WoW during Cataclysm. I didn't play prior to that. So I missed out on a lot of the vanilla stuff. I didn't play through Wrath. I didn't play through Burning Crusade. But the reason why I came to it in the end was I much preferred sort of, story-based open world sort of, narrative-driven games like the sort of stuff that you enjoy as well. And the reason why is because it's designed for a solo experience. And I realized that as soon as I stopped looking at MMOs in that manner and I started looking at them as vehicles for group play with friends of mine, that's when I started to enjoy them a lot more. So when I started playing WoW, I played it with friends and I enjoyed the hell out of it. When I started playing Knights of the Old Republic, sorry, no, not Knights of the Old Republic, the Old Republic, I should say. So the MMO Star Wars game. Played a bunch of that with Jamie and our friend Justin, and that was a blast. That game was super good. Would it have been anywhere near as good if I was doing it on my own? No, not a chance.
And
see, but that's the thing for me is organising the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
It puts another.
That's the biggest one for me.
It puts another level of difficulty on enjoying the game. This is actually the reason why, for a long, long time, I didn't actually get into role-playing games, and I preferred playing tabletop miniature games, because the way I saw it was that playing tabletop miniature games, you basically only relied on having one other opponent, and when you weren't playing a game against another person, you always had a side of the hobby you could engage in solo, which is actually painting the figures. Whereas when it came to a role-playing game, you have to actually get a group of people together, and scheduling that and organising a set time and all that sort of thing is really like a lot of hassle if you don't have the right group. So that's why I used to prefer that style of game. But now that life's changed and I do actually have that available to me, I really, really do enjoy that. So it just changes depending on what you can, what is easy and what is difficult, I think.
Yeah. And I think, that's why World of Warcraft, I was thinking maybe I need to add another one to my shame pile, because I haven't played that in weeks. And I loved the new expansion. I love it, but the main reason I'm not playing it is because everyone else stopped playing it. So if no one else is like, I'm jumping on WoW, then it's really difficult for me to like go in and grind through stuff by myself.
I've just paused temporarily.
That's fair.
Only because there's a lot of other stuff on. I will get back to it.
Yeah.
And the reason I pick WoW in particular is every time you talk about anything World of Warcraft related, I know exactly what you're talking about lore-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
I can follow every single piece of lore you guys are talking about. And I'm just like, that says a lot for someone who hasn't played the game at all.
Yeah, you'd love it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I would, 100%. So yeah, for me, MMO genre gets a Shane Pyle award. The latest Hitman games. I have not played any Hitman game after 2014, which makes me really sad because he looks like me.
You are Hitman, yeah.
I know. I think that's probably why. No. For me, the latest Hitman games.
Can I make a suggestion?
Which makes me really sad because I really want to play them.
I actually think that I think the Hitman games may be a contender for the really, really cool experience we could all have together over Christmas. Because actually solving those games as a puzzle with a group, I reckon, would be hilarious fun.
I don't like it.
Okay, all right.
She doesn't like murdering people, Luke.
Sorry.
Unless it's horrific over-violence, like Doom.
Yeah, horrific over-violence, like way
hyper-violence.
over the top.
Yeah.
Or clouds, butterflies, and marshmallows, please.
Alright, so plastic bags over faces, no go. Right. Gotcha.
It could be funny, I guess. Yeah, we could give it a go.
Could be funny.
I'll watch you guys
Throwing the
play.
bodies off the building could be hilarious.
They're not.
Yeah, I've
they're
seen
not
some
super bloody
GTA.
good.
I've seen some good Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Let's say you like GTA, you'll probably be fine with
Yeah.
it.
It is a great game
I miss
for
GTA
spectating. It is
so
a
much.
really fun game to spectate. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, and my last and final one is the God of War games after number 1. I played the first one, and I've not played any of the other
I'm
ones.
so surprised that you are not a God of War player, to be honest.
I want to be. I just didn't get around to it. Like the first one I played, I really enjoyed the first one. And I liked the idea behind it and stuff. And I just, haven't played past the first one.
Well, you'll get your chance next year to jump back in by the look of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to catch up though.
Yeah.
Catch up.
I don't know,
I think I've got a lot of holidays coming up.
God of War is one that I saw on your
exactly
list that
right.
actually surprised me. Like, I've never really seen God of War as one of those defining sort of franchises. Like, it's been big, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Maybe I've got a different perspective on it.
It's a game that I like the idea of, and I enjoyed the first one a lot. That I never got around to playing the rest of it to find out if I personally, because I pay attention to the reviews and what the community is saying and whatnot, but I have never had the chance to give my own opinion of it.
Right.
Because I don't like echoing opinion. I like going, even if I know the entire community is going, this is a piece of shit, don't play it. I'll still go, let's see how bad it is. Play it at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I at least give it a chance.
Yeah.
Because I might like it because everyone's opinions are different. So, yeah, never got around to it.
No, I get you. Well,
Makes me sad.
What I was going to ask you, what as a question do you think would be gaps in your repertoire that maybe people would be surprised at? So, are there any sort of significant franchises that you have never really been that concerned about, but that people might actually be surprised that you've never played?
Ones that I've never really committed myself to, a lot of the 1v1 fighting games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I've played them. I definitely have played
Oh,
them.
so good.
Like, don't get me wrong, I've played them. I just haven't like owned them and committed to them, if that makes sense. They've always been like a party game for me, essentially, where I'll go over someone's house and we'll have like an impromptu tournament where the one guy actually knows what he's doing, gets angry at everyone else button mashing, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that one maybe, but apart from that, yeah, that's about it really.
Okay.
I'm a giant nerd. I play a lot of games. I have a problem.
I'm making a list right now of games that I don't own, so they're not on my shame pile, but I keep forgetting that I need to pick them up, like Forza.
That means they go on the shame pile.
I want Forza Horizon Zero Dawn so bad.
means
It's just
Forza?
still so expensive.
Oh,
Forza.
Horizon Zero. Oh, sorry.
Forza.
Imogen, this
Horizon
show
Zero
is literally giving you piles. That's how this is
I
working.
know. Thanks, guys.
Well, Jam not being able to make it tonight did leave us with a few on her list that we could just briefly rip through for us. So, yeah?
I'll interrupt. Sorry, I'm going to put the spotlight back on me because I'm a greedy prick. Reading her list made me realise I have a pretty big gap in my thing. JRPGs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Final Fantasy and whatnot. The reason it's
You've
not on my
never
shame
played
pile...
Final Fantasies?
No, I have. No, let me finish my whole fucking sentence, motherfucker. I have played them. I don't particularly like them, but it's a franchise that I really want to like. And I watch like the movies and I watch all the cutscenes and stuff so I know what the fuck's going on.
Fair enough.
But I never like the way the game plays, which is really weird. So yeah, JRPGs for me.
I love how I got admonished for interrupting when you had just interrupted Luke.
I know. But then Luke didn't tell me off, so it was okay.
No, I wanted to hear it. It was actually interesting. JRPGs are one that I could probably put on my list too, but I've played a lot of Final Fantasies and I do enjoy them. I just don't tend to enjoy a lot of other JRPGs. I know there's a few.
I just don't like the idea of a 25-hour tutorial.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's not me making that up. That's an actual thing. I can't remember if it was 13 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah, that is too long, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Jam said Fallout 4 as well, not surprised. Witcher 3, she's still burning through, hasn't finished either. She's got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm assuming she means the Old Republic as opposed to Knights of, the MMOs. I know she mentioned she wanted to get back to that at some point. And one thing I will say about that, for an MMO, it does have a very, very heavy story elements that you can actually kind of finish the campaign and finish the main story arc as well. So you can almost play it like an adventure game in that respect. So I kind of get that. Chrono Trigger she's got down. Surprised me. Chrono Trigger, anyone have a particular thought or experience with that?
No.
I know of it. I'm not sure why is Jam a particularly big JRPG person?
Maybe.
Well, she does. She's a big anime fan, so
that is true.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily. So am I, though. To be fair,
maybe she started it and not finished it. That's probably
you're very different
likely.
people, Ollie. I don't know if you'd realise.
Very true. It's super true. I am a very different person.
It might be
Jamie.
along the same lines of that she owns the game and she hasn't had the time in it that she wants.
I would suspect so.
I suspect.
Rise of the Tomb Raiders
Plus,
on
it
there
is
too.
old school as fuck.
Yeah,
that is
That's
true.
like 19. That's like mid 90s, isn't it?
It's pretty old. I think it's GameCube actually. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I want to say mid 90s.
Could be.
It might be even older than GameCube, dude. I think it might be like.
Oh no,
SNES
GameCube.
era,
I'm thinking
maybe.
of Time Splitters. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Look that up later.
Unless there's an update for it. There might be an updated version. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No idea.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, so cool. Do we feel cleansed? Do we feel like we've gotten some of our piles of shame off our chests, ready to launch into the holiday season, maybe with a fresh look on some of these things? Are we actually going to attack them, or are we going to be like, okay, we're in a good place now that we've kind of got them out of the way and, you know...
No, I'll definitely try the Hitman ones. And I might start catching up with God of War. MMOs, yeah, probably not. That'll be my hidden shame. But yeah, God of War and Hitman, I'll definitely keep going on.
Nice.
Chrono Trigger is available on the iOS as of 2011.
Oh, wow.
Originally a Super Nintendo game from 1995.
Fuck yes, I'm good.
Nice work, Ollie.
I'm so good.
Nice.
Good job, pat on the back, whatever, don't care.
So
While we're on the topic of Ollie being wrong, just wanted to say a quick correction, because I did listen to the podcast I wasn't on last week.
Is this a spurious fact that I got wrong?
You got so many things wrong in that episode. Number one,
I can't remember.
I have never played Birdskitball. I did not get a chance to play it, so it was not you and I that trashed Jam and Dave in inverted commas. So I don't know where that memory
Who
came
did I
from.
play
And
with then?
I have no idea, dude.
Oh, it was Simo. It was
Okay,
Simo.
there you go. Oh, well, Sim and I are interchangeable. That's fine.
Yeah, both have blonde hair. That's pretty much, yeah.
Mimo. And also, you mentioned Mellowdrops, which is an awesome game, by the way. I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to chat about it last week. Is not yet available on iOS. It is only available on Steam and is hoping to be released on iOS and Android in early 2017. So for those of you who searched in the App Store for it and couldn't find it, it is unfortunately not available until next year. But
Suckers.
I recommend picking it up on PC or holding out for it because it's an amazing game. Just wanted to.
I'm trying to remember now if their demo thing that they had for it.
They did have a demo on the floor
That's what it
last
was.
year on an iPad, but you weren't there, so they must have had it again
No, they
this
had
year.
one on the iPad this year because that's what I played it on.
Yeah,
I
so
played it on a
didn't-
tablet. I'm just trying to remember if it was an Android tablet or a
Yeah,
iOS
I didn't
tablet.
play it on the tablet this year, and I didn't see it.
Could be a Surface
but
or
yes,
something.
they're developing it. Obviously, it's it's a great game because you get to actually turn the iPad. Or I suspect there'll probably be a mode where you don't have to turn the iPad. You can just click a button if you don't want to. I don't know, but yeah, so early next year. So sorry, folks, for getting your hopes up about Mellowdrops, but I do highly recommend.
Spurious facts.
Well, if we got everything right all the time, then, you know, we could probably
Exactly right.
be a totally different show. That's not how
Exactly
it's going to
right.
work. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's pretty much the main topics for tonight. We have a bunch of stuff to look forward to heading into December. Next episode, of course, is our Party Game of the Month episode, where we are finally doing our long overdue review of Push Me Pull You, which
Yay.
is going to be our last one for the year, but looking forward to that. That should be lots of fun. And of course, send your suggestions in for future party games that we should attack, because we will be continuing to do this ongoing into the new year, and we need to freshen up our list. So any that you can chuck on it for us to take a look at would be greatly appreciated. You can do so by sending us an email. So drop an email to mail@partyloaded.com. You can also leave comments on our Facebook page at facebook.com/partyloaded, via Twitter at partyloadedshow, or if you want to take a photo of your suggestion, I guess you could Instagram it at partyloaded. That could work, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. If you're in the habit of leaving stuff, would also super appreciate it if you use iTunes. Hop onto iTunes if you enjoy the show and leave us a positive review. That would also help out a great deal. And be a nice little Christmas present for us too. That would be great. Yeah. Be cool. So I was going to throw to you guys and sort of say, what are you doing between now and next week? But I'd actually like to talk about something that I'm going to be doing between now and next week, because I picked up a little something yesterday. Guess what I picked up? You already know.
Final Fantasy 15. Goodbye.
I did.
See you later.
We saw the picture.
Have you installed it yet? Because the internet is very angry about how long that took.
It took a little while, I'm not going to lie. So when I
was about to say, you don't have NBN either, so good Lord.
It's not even the download. So like the people are spending the time downloading, and then someone, Ashley from the patch from Rooster Teeth, was 527 minutes to install the game.
I was surprised at that. I saw that tweet as well.
People you don't want to post photos on the internet, number one. Ashley Jenkins.
It did not take me anywhere near that long, though, so I don't know what was going on there. It took a little while. Could have been a
server thing when she was trying to do it as well. Who knows?
Possibly. So I've installed it. I've played through the tutorial. I've played a couple of hours of the game. I'm really keen to share some thoughts on it next week. So far, very, very positive impressions. I really like the combat. It's very different to regular Final Fantasy games, and I'll talk about that next week. But yeah, that's going to be a big time sink for me over the coming 7 days, so looking forward to that. So, yeah, Final Fantasy 15, first impressions so far, very positive. We'll talk soon. That's it. So what are you guys doing this week?
I'd like to say that I'm going to spend more time in Ori, but I'll probably play Armello. I need to start playing some more Overwatch as well, actually.
Yep. Overwatch, Dishonored, Thumper. I'm going to see how far I get in Thumper. See if I can do some big sessions.
Oh, I've been playing a little bit of Party Hard as well. That game is difficult.
Party Hard? What is that?
Party Hard is like an 8-bit game where you basically are a fed up person of all of the noise, so you've got to go in and stealthily kill all members at a party.
Okay.
There's other spurious means, and if you get detected, then you get arrested or killed or whatever else. And yeah, thumping music. It's got a great soundtrack. It's a game I picked up in a Steam sale and never played and found on my list when we were talking about sharing games.
Nice.
It is a really fun game.
I'm stuck. I'm still stuck on this one level, so might try to spend some more time in that too. Party Hard. Very good.
All right, well, let's put all that stuff on the shelf and hop off now and go play some Overwatch. What do you say, guys?
Yay!
That's good.
Sure.
All right.
I'm going to suck.
Nice. Well, until next week, good night, everyone.
Bye!
Later.
The Party Loaded podcast is a Channel Endgame production. For this and more great gaming content, bookmark channelendgame.com.